And it's really frustrates me as well, because 99% of the workforce that comes from Pakistan, India and Bangladesh are actually wasting their time in Australia by doing the jobs like Uber, taxi and security. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Omar, and in today's video we will be discussing how to find a first job in Australia as an immigrant. Now, it does not really matter if you're moving to Australia on a student visa or on a temporary resident visa or even on permanent resident visa. Finding yourself your first job in Australia can be a daunting process, since you have never been to Australia before and you do not really have an understanding of Australian system and Australian culture. Therefore, in this video, I'm going to walk you guys through the whole process of finding a job in Australia, and I will share my tips and tricks and my experiences with you guys so that you guys can take benefit out of it, and whatever the time you guys are going to spend in Australia would be highly productive. So let's start with this video. Now, finding a job or a job hunting process in Australia is actually a 5-stage process. Now, in the first stage, there are further 3 tasks. Number 1 is applying for TFN, number 2 is opening up a bank account, and number 3 is organizing references. Now, these 3 tasks can go hand in hand, or they can be initiated in parallel. You do not have to do these tasks in sequence. Now, let's get into the detail of these tasks. Now, what is TFN? Now, TFN is tax file number, and it is used to identify your taxes and superannuation. And how you can apply for it, just Google Australia TFN, and the first link that pops up on your screens, click that link and it will take you to Australian Taxation Office website, and on that page you would be given 3 or 4 options. Choose the option that is applicable on you, and then just fill out the form, which would take roughly 15 to 20 minutes, and submit that form. And on the Australian taxation website, it says you will get your TFN in 28 days, but you can, if your application is correct and authentic, then you will get your TFN in roughly 3 to 5 business days. I got my TFN in 3 to 4 business days, so you can expect that your TFN would be arriving within that time frame as well. Now, let's get on to the second task, which is opening up bank account. Now, I have already made one video in which I have detailed what are the documents that you should be carrying while going to bank to open up your bank account. I'll leave the link somewhere here, and you can click that link and go through that video. As soon as you land in Australia, apply for TFN, submit the form and go to bank and try to open up your bank account as soon as possible. Now, let's discuss the third task, which is organizing references. You must have at least 4 references, 2 from your professional background and the other 2 from the academic background. Australian employer will not give you job offer letter until they have verified your references. Does not matter if your reference is onshore or offshore. Therefore, it is very important that whatever the references you are going to provide to your employer in Australia are authentic and genuine. And also, on the other hand, you must educate your references that they must be expecting a call or an email from an Australian employer. So, it is very important that you have organized your references. Now, let's discuss the second stage of the job hunting process of Australia, which is the resume. Now, resume is a very important part of your job hunting process or job hunting mission in Australia, because this is something on the basis of which you would be getting shortlisted. Therefore, it is very important that you are building your resume according to the Australian standards. Look up for different templates on Google or YouTube and then modify your CV accordingly. My suggestion here would be to prepare 2 variants of your resume. First variant, in which all of your technical skills will go, and this resume you would particularly be using for jobs that are directly or indirectly related to your profession, which can be engineering, IT or accountancy. There must be a second variant as well, in which you would list all of your soft skills like communication skills, attention to detail, time management skills, teamwork skills. Those sort of skills would go in that second variant, and you will use that variant for jobs like temporary roles or part-time roles or casual roles. So my suggestion would be to prepare 2 variants of your resume, and in those resumes you should include the keywords that would help you getting shortlisted for the job. So this is the second stage. Now let's move on to the third stage, which is what sectors you should be targeting in order to land your first job in Australia. Now, before getting into the detail of this particular segment of the video, I would just like to add one piece of information here, and particularly for those immigrants who are coming from Pakistan, India or Bangladesh. Now, the immigrants who come from these three countries are more inclined towards doing jobs like Uber, taxi, cleaning, dishwashing or kitchen hand, which is very, very unfortunate. And it's really frustrates me as well, because 99% of the workforce that comes from Pakistan, India and Bangladesh are actually wasting their time in Australia by doing the jobs like Uber, taxi and security, which is again very unfortunate, because these areas do not contribute towards anything towards your ambitions of landing permanent residency of Australia. It rather literally wastes your time, your crucial time that you are going to spend in Australia. So it's absolutely fine to do these jobs initially, but if you are going to make career out of it, then you are making a big mistake. You must be confident enough and you must have a belief in yourself that you will be able to find a job in Australia. And that's why I am making this video, so that I would guide you guys through the whole process of finding a job in Australia. So let's move forward and discuss in detail what sectors to target in order to find your first job in Australia. Now, as I've already mentioned, you must need to find a job that would contribute towards your chances of landing permanent residency in Australia. Now, either you can try to find a job which is directly related to your profession, but also side by side you need to target sectors like warehouse setting, or hospitality sector or retail sector or even contact centers. Now, if you work in a contact center or in a retail sector, what will happen is that your communication skills will significantly improve. Now, if you have come across this channel for the first time, I have mentioned multiple times in the previous videos that my first job in Australia was working in a contact center. And trust me, when I landed that job, it literally gave me nightmares, because I was not confident enough to communicate with Australian native speaker or English native speaker over the phone, and it literally gave me nightmares. But I took up that challenge. I stuck with that job for 2-3 months, and I really made some significant errors and blunders during those first 2 months of my employment. But after that, I literally started smashing the calls and my key performance indicators started shooting up. They literally got better, and what happened, eventually my communication skills started getting improved as well, which in return really helped me ace my IELTS and PTE exam. And then further, when I applied for 489 expression of interest with New South Wales, I got nominated. So that is the importance of the jobs that are not directly related to your professions, like working in a contact center or working in a retail sector. You would be communicating with Australians. You would understand Australian slangs, which would ultimately help you to connect with Australians. And even if you are lucky enough to land a job interview which is directly related to your profession, working in these circumstances where you are communicating frequently with Australians would actually help you ace that interview as well. So the strategy must be to find a work that would eventually contribute towards your chances of landing permanent residency of Australia. So that must be your strategy. Now let's move forward towards the fourth segment of this video, which is how to apply for jobs in Australia. So according to my experience, or as per my experience, Seek.com is probably the best portal in Australia if you are looking to find job in any sector, be it a hospitality sector or a construction sector, or you're looking for a job in electrical engineering or civil engineering, mechanical engineering, or if you're looking for a job as a nurse or a radiologist or audiologist, you will find every job listed on Seek.com. There are other portals as well, like Indeed.com and Gumtree as well, but on Gumtree 90% of the roles would be related to cleaning and dishwashing and kitchen hands. Therefore, I do not really recommend going on to Gumtree. Focus on Seek.com, and Seek.com should be your #1 buddy as soon as you land in Australia. All right, so apply for jobs via Seek.com. Does not matter which sector you are targeting, but one thing you should remember is that you should not be using same resume for all the jobs you're applying for. As I mentioned earlier, you must prepare 2 variants of your resume. First variant should be focusing on the jobs that are directly or indirectly related to your profession, and even for that resume you should modify your CV or make some changes into your CV that are according to the job you're applying for. Include those keywords into your resume. It would, trust me, really help toward getting shortlisted. Similarly, it goes for any job which is a part-time role or a temporary role or a casual role. Whatever the CV or resume that you are going to use in order to complete your job application, make sure in that resume you are using all those keywords which are in the job advertisement, and you are including those keywords into your resume. Trust me, again, it is going to help you get shortlisted. So that's the #4 segment of the video. Now let's move forward and towards the last segment of the video. This video, I totally understand it is getting longer, but trust me, whatever the information I have included in this video is just gonna help you guys and just increase the productivity of the time that you are going to spend in Australia. Now, the last segment of this video is, what is the job interview process in Australia? Now, once you have applied for the job, you must be prepared all the time to expect a call from an employer. The employer is not going to email you that he or she will contact you the next day around midday. They would just call you anytime. And between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. is probably the most important part of the day, and 90% of the calls would come between that time frame. Now, also make sure you have a voicemail set up on your phones as well. It would just take 20 seconds, trust me, and it is very important. All you have to do is you can just copy me. Set up your voicemail like this. Hey, you have called Omar. I'm currently unavailable. Please leave your name and number and I'll give you a call back as soon as possible. Thank you. So just like that, just set up a voicemail. Trust me, it's gonna make a huge difference. If you miss out any call from the potential employer, they would get to the voicemail section of your call, and when they would listen, yes, they would have an impression that this guy is a professional. So these little things, trust me, are going to make a huge difference towards your success of landing your first job in Australia. So set up your voicemail, and let's come back to the topic that you will get a call from a potential employer, and that chat will roughly go for 5 to 10 minutes, and during those 10 minutes the employer would assess if you are fit for this role, and the employer would also assess if you are going to stick with this role for like at least a year or so. They do not want anyone who would just leave this job within first 3 or 4 months. They want someone who would serve them at least for a year or so. So you must be very well prepared to answer all of these questions, and you must follow a particular method in order to answer those questions. You just do not have to answer yes, no, or yes, I have not. Now you have to answer in terms of your experience. You must share your experience over the phone with the employer. Now, if you ace your phone interview, you would, on the same call, you would be told that when you can visit us for a one-on-one interview. But if you fail the interview, you would be told we will be getting in touch with you shortly, and 99% of the times you will not hear back from them. So it's very important, after getting shortlisted, phone interview is something you should be capitalizing on. You do not want to lose this opportunity. All right, so once you ace your phone interview, you would visit the premises of the employer, and then there would be a one-on-one interview, and you should be very well prepared. You should make your research before heading for the interview. Go and through the company's website, see what projects they are working on, what projects they have already worked on. All these sort of data, trust me, you need to have it with you, and it would just show how sincere are you towards landing this job. So that's it, guys. These are the 5 stages that you would go through if you are moving to Australia for the first time. I hope this video would serve as a massive guidance towards your ambitions of landing or your first job, but also your ambitions of landing permanent residency of Australia. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully I'll catch you soon. Cheers. Bye bye.